Good, we good. Yeah, man. So we got the meeting set up for like an hour, so we don't have too much time. But
All right.
you know what I'm saying, man? I just wanted to be, like a conversation. I have some questions lined up for you. Um, Really, just like welcome to Hip Hop Adventures. I started this series um, because I felt like there was a need to shine light on people in hip hop who were doing really cool things outside of hip hop too, right? Like I feel like we have so many well-rounded people in our culture. Um,
Hmm.
who are just doing really amazing things, right? So it's like I want to tell their stories, and that's what I'm doing through video form, through writing, and it's been cool so far. I've had a really good time with it, and I appreciate you being here. So welcome, my dude.
No doubt.
Um,
Thank you for having me, man.
yeah, of course, of course. So I want to like put this video out. That's why I'm recording it afterwards. So just for the people who are watching on your end, um, post interview. I'm William Wallace. If you don't know me, I'm an MC, producer, event coordinator. I do a lot of community work in Boston. That's where I'm living now, and now this. So I'm very grateful for everything that's been going on lately. And then Lex, if you want to give yourself a little introduction.
I go by the name of Lex Boogs. Um, my real name Isaander Robles. If you're looking for a house, you're looking to sell your house, buy a house, whatever it is, I'm that guy. I'm that, I'm the go-to. You know what I mean? You need help with that in that field. As far as if you need a dope haircut, I could be your barber. I'm at Gaslight Barbers. And I make music also.
That's right.
You know, I
That's
make
right.
music.
Perfect example of someone I want to have on the show, man. So we're gonna get right into it. This interview is special for me because um, I mean, a lot of people don't know this, but you were like one of the first people who I met, kind of, um, who was in a different age group than I was, who had experience in hip hop, who had experience MCing. When I was a youngin', right? So when I first started, I was 14 or 15, coming into the barbershop,
Right.
and things were a lot different at the shop back then. And I remember meeting you, and I told you I rapped, and you told me you did music, and you would always tell me these really cool hip hop stories, of different things that you did and people you
Yeah.
met, and that would excite me. You know what I mean? That was a lot of inspiration for me back then. So let's bring it to that. Why don't you bring me back to that time when you were really involved in hip hop in your earlier days, and kind of how hip hop and rap came into the picture for you?
Well, for many years, me and DJ Stress, you know DJ Stress, right?
Yeah.
We held the show, me, DJ Stress, Sways, and my man Rocco Leon. We had a underground hip hop show on 90.7 at Springfield Technical Community College, and we held that down for close to 10 years, you know.
Hmm.
But before that, we were just roaming around looking for anybody to open up for, you know, just trying to share our music. Back then we were handing out tapes, CDs, whatever we could, trying to get on or whatever, trying to meet people. We started trying to interview everybody. We started like an underground hip hop documentary on hip hop. So we got a chance to like meet a lot of people just from doing that, you know. I
Mm.
got to open up for a lot of people and stuff like that. It's pretty dope, you know.
Yeah. So you kind of took a different angle in the earlier days. You weren't just MC; you were also doing a radio show, and
Yeah, I mean,
that angle.
that was like a little bit after, but at first it was just straight MCs, you know, go to the studio, record, and just hope somebody hear, and you know, just somebody telling me, yo, that was dope, was good enough for me, you know.
Yeah, 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 definitely. It looks like
Mhm.
your video went out real quick, my dude. Oh, we lost him. We lost him. Let me go ahead and pause this for a second.
My bad.
It's all good, man.
Yeah, I got an incoming call. I didn't know how to, you know,
Oh,
turn
okay,
it
yeah.
off
Oh,
and
you
all
set
that.
up on the phone? You set up on the phone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All
Yep.
right. Where, so that's what's up. So I do want to talk a little bit about DJ Stress in a few. Um, but it's funny because I feel like when I like to try to do my research before these interviews and really like listen to the artist's music who I'm interviewing, right? Like prior to the interview. And when I'm doing all this research, I'm like, damn, I couldn't really find, other than the 4 singles that you put out, I couldn't really
Mm-hmm.
find too many. You with me? You with me?
Yeah, my bad.
I couldn't really find a whole lot of old music, right? So I know you're all over the project, the DJ Stretch project that Sean Price
Right,
did, the Efflorescence.
right.
So you're all over that. Some really dope records on there. I think the one that M Dot is on, you're doing the hook.
Yeah, the aquarium or something like that.
Yeah, that's my jam right
Yeah,
there. My
yeah.
jam. Uh, so I'm not gonna lie, like I couldn't find like a full Lex Boogs project, an album. So
Right.
have you ever put out a solo project?
Yeah, me and Stress put together a my bad, man.
That's all good, man. No
We
worries.
put together a project called Mixed Conceptions.
Okay.
Yeah, we put that one out a while back in like early 2000, maybe late 90s. But
And it was
after that,
production and all your rhymes.
yeah, we had like a bunch of people on it. We had a bunch of shout outs from people, from a bunch of people like Prodigy, Slick Rick, from just a bunch of people just kind of vouching for the CD, you know, for the project and stuff like that, which was pretty dope, you know.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like you and DJ Stress, like y'all kind of came up together in a way, right?
Right.
Like that's your man's. I think he's doing like a lot of cool things right now as well, with the producer online and just continuing to put out classic music. Are you still friends with him?
Of course, yeah, that's my brother, man. It's family, man.
Word.
Yeah, I met him. Actually, I met him before I became a barber. I met him at because of my barber.
Okay.
The guy that kind of inspired me to become a barber was he knew I was making music, and he knew he was cutting Stress up at the same time. So he kind of like introduced us in the barbershop. And then from there, that was like back in 95. And then we just started making music from then on, you know?
Yeah, no doubt.
I kind of like, huh?
Go ahead.
So when he explained that he make music or whatever, I just looked at him like, you know, everybody say they make music, you know what I mean? So when I looked at him, kind of like what happened with you, you told me, you know, you make music. I'm like, all right, cool, you know? But then when I heard you, I was like, yo, this kid's dope, man, you know?
Yeah,
But same thing with Stress, you know. Like, he said, let's go to the car. I got some beats. I got some jams that I put together with some other people from Hartford or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, you know, I was like, yo, this sound is crazy. And then we just started rocking from there, you know?
Yeah. That's dope. I was gonna ask you how you guys met, so that's great that you already like gave that intro. I feel like you guys fueled each other a lot in the beginning.
Yeah.
Great chemistry going.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, and this isn't directly something that you did, but like, how did that Sean Price connection happen, and like, how did that come about with him hosting that DJ Stretch project?
That was Stress. Stress was like, he was always on the phone hounding people, like, you know, and that's not in a bad way, hounding people, but he didn't play no games. Like when he wanted to meet somebody or get plugged with somebody or whatever, he'll make sure he'll contact all the people he knew, you know, who can you contact me with or whatever. And then we met like Sean Price, the whole boot camp clique, like numerous times, like at different venues.
Yeah.
That it was just like we was cool with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what was that experience like? Like, you've told me stories about being around Sean Price, and I think you told me a story one time about how he was like pressing you for your jacket or something. He was
my vest, my Anichi vest. Yeah, he's like, yo, son, yeah, that jacket is dope, man. It looks like it's my size. I said, yeah, it fit me good too, you know. But he was cool, you know. He was just messing around, but you know.
I'm
crazy,
sure that
you know.
Like, how did that feel at like being around? Like, because at the time he's like a legend, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you as an upcoming MC, like, how did that feel being able to like be around somebody like that?
He made you feel that he was the type of person that when he was around you, he made you feel like you was somebody, like he didn't make you feel like he was more than you was. You know what I mean? He was real down to earth, real cool, real humble dude. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
real cool people.
That's what's up, man. I love hearing stories like that because I've also heard a lot of stories about people who just um are let down when they meet like the people they look up to in hip hop.
Right, right.
It's like damn. So they're like, there's like a saying like you don't want to meet your idols or whatever. I'm like damn.
I met a few of those, man, and I won't mention their names, but I met a few of those, and it was disappointing, man. I couldn't like. I still rock to their music and all that, but it's just not the same, you know. Like when you think about them as a person, you're like, homeboy was a jerk, you know.
Right. What is you've been doing hip hop for a long time now, my brother? Probably what 20 years?
Since like 88, 89.
Yeah, so that's a long time. How do you view hip hop today? Like, how have you? What is your viewpoint on how it's evolved? And are you digging it, or are you missing the old school stuff, or like how are you feeling about that?
I there's good artists, there's bad artists, no matter what time, you know, like time things evolve, you know what I mean? And
Right.
and there's always gonna be that, you know, when my era was doper than this era or whatever, and I'm sure the people before me was thinking like their era was doper than my era or whatever, you know what I mean? But
Right.
I just think good music is good music. You know, there's you know there's some music out there that's just real crazy, you know, and I'm like, what happened? You know, what happened to music? But at the same time, there's some cats that are coming up that they sound dope, you know, and they got dope lyrical content. They got their wordplay on point, you know,
Right.
and their deliveries, you know, crazy or whatever. But it ain't nothing like the '90s, or you know what I mean? But
Yeah. You're right. It's different. It's its own thing. And I think
right,
I have to just appreciate
right.
the good music regardless.
That's why I respect y'all music, man, cause y'all got that sound. Like y'all didn't like just like get down like on a bandwagon with everybody and trapping all over the place, and you know.
No doubt, man. Yeah, thank you. We just trying to keep it original, and
Right,
just trying to have fun and make sure that we like the music that we make. So,
right.
uh, so started off as Lex Boogie, uh, changed to Lex Boogs, right? Boogs, am I
Right.
saying it right?
Boogs.
I always say Boogs, like Boogie, like that's just how I say it.
Yeah. It's just Boogs.
Yeah, Lex Boogs.
Yep.
So the Boogs acronym stands for Been Operating on God's Strength,
Right.
right? Um, when you decided to make that switch from Boogie to Boogs, and for a moment, for some reason, I thought you were putting out music under Isaiah and the Robos at one point. Am I
I
wrong?
No, you're right. You're right. Cause I was going through a transition as far as like finding who I was. You know, like finding my identity in the Christian hip hop, you know, as an artist in that field, where
Yeah,
I didn't know where I was headed. You know, I was trying to figure out where do I dead who I used to be. You know, Lex Boogie, Lex Boogs, it's pretty much the same thing. And I was kind of like in a battle between that. You know, where I'm like, do I go by my real name or whatever? But then that's when the acronym came in. You know,
right.
I've been operating on God's strength, so I ran with it. You know.
Hmm. Yeah, that's. I want to talk a little bit about the transition, because I think uh, it's something that's kind of important to your story, and it reflects on the music that you make now. And your music is fire. I love it. So was there like a specific deciding factor for you when you made that transition, or was it something that kind of just happened slowly over time? Because it's hard for me to remember because I remember when I first started getting cuts by you. I don't think you were really like going to even church yet at that point.
Right.
I mean, but I was also young and I was evolving myself. So like a lot of this is me like really just trying to catch up with you too, right? Like
Hmm.
when did that transition fully happen, and what was like kind of the deciding factor?
I think about 2010, no, like 2010, 2011, I started visiting churches and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And I was still who I was. And then I think by 2013 is when I really started getting like serious with the church. you know, and I still, like, I really wanted to change, and I really wanted to get to know God and stuff like that. And I kind of like put music to the side for a second, where I had to find who I was, and was I doing the right thing because of what I was saying, you know, in my past, with my past music or whatever. And I felt like I had to do some internal soul searching of who I was, and who God was, and you know what I mean? Where do I stand in his kingdom and stuff like that? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I put it to the side, and then I realized that that was my calling all along, you know,
Mm-hmm.
to make music, and to spread the gospel, or to wake people up, you know what I mean? And it don't always have to be, you know, just like I'm trying to preach to everybody, you know what I mean? But if I could lift somebody up by saying something positive to them, you know what I mean?
Right.
My mission was done, you know?
Yeah, I think that's what I really appreciate about your music is that when I first like thought of Christian rap in my head, I thought of it as like something that would be kind of preachy. And then you started showing me all these dope artists like Eshawn Burgundy, and NF,
Right.
and your stuff, and I'm like, damn, like this is fire. You know what I mean? It's not
Mm-hmm.
preachy. It's
Yeah.
it's just a matter of like what kind of like positive energy you're putting into that, and like, and what is like the true purpose behind that, you know?
Right.
I think I have a higher appreciation for Christian rap since you kind of introduced me to that.
Right.
So I think Agent was your first video that kind of that you put out, like kind of under that
Right.
that name, right, and under like that new Evolve Lex.
Mm-hmm.
And then you dropped 3 more singles after that. Unorthodox is my favorite one. I think like just the
Right.
vibe of the video and the beat is crazy, bro. It's crazy.
Thank you, man.
Do you? What can we expect going forward as far as music goes? Like, are you gonna come out with an album? Are you just gonna keep trying to put singles out? What is your goals going?
I honestly, I feel like I was putting out singles, and every single was like the levels that I was going through, because it's like I haven't arrived fully, you know. It's not like I know it all or anything like that, but I feel like I have a better understanding of who God is and who I am, and what my music is about now. So I feel like I'm ready to put out an album. I feel like I could put together a nice project where it's mature enough to really, like, you know, get in there and say something, you know, that it's gonna impact somebody's life or something like that. You know what I mean?
Right, right. So you feel like you're ready for it as an artist,
Mm-hmm.
but you haven't necessarily started working on something.
I'm in the works. I got some
Okay.
joints already
All right.
recorded, but I'm extra picky. Stress to tell you, like, I'm like picky, so I could record 10 joints and be like, I don't like none of them, you know. But
No
me
doubt.
and him been talking about putting, like, just getting back together and doing something, you know, where I come with what I come with, and he just provide that flavor behind it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would love to hear that, man. I'm happy to hear that he's gonna be a
Right,
part of some of this new music coming out, man. Because I think
right.
that speaks volumes on y'all's relationship too. You know.
Hmm.
Um, do you have something that you consider your biggest achievement in music?
My biggest achievement, for me, my biggest achievement with music was finding my purpose. Like,
Word.
why am I doing this? You know, before it was, I was trying to get out the hood, or that was my way of channeling whatever stress, anger, frustration, whatever, you know, whatever emotion I felt, you know, going through whatever I went through, you know what I mean? That was my escape route or whatever. That was the way I vented, and I was looking for a way out, you know what I mean? I was trying to get signed. I was trying to feel acknowledged by people, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. But then it just turned into a just a bigger, you know what I mean? It's a lot bigger than me, you know?
Yeah, man. I love
If
that.
I could touch somebody like out there in Thailand in some little hut, you know what I mean, listening to some headphones, and just change their whole lifestyle just because they heard some lyrics or whatever, that's dope, man. You know,
Yeah, yeah. That's awesome, man. How can somebody support your music right now? What's the best way to support Lex Boogs?
honestly, I don't know, because this music game is crazy right now. Like, you ain't selling CDs, you ain't selling records, you ain't selling tapes. I don't know. I mean, you could go on Spotify and buy a track or whatever. You could give me a thumbs up on
No doubt,
and
no
say,
doubt.
I don't know, man.
A like and a share go a long way. A like and a share go a long way.
Right.
Share it with a friend.
Right.
Word. And the article I read after this, I'm gonna be sure to put the links to your music and stuff like that in there, man.
No doubt.
So to loop things back to the beginning, to when we first met at the barbershop, right? I started going there, like I said, I was like 14 at the time, I think, right? And I don't think you were like my main barber. Like, I think I kind of hopped back and forth between you and Mike.
I think Jay too. JR, no?
I think JR might have cut me a few times. I know that dude. Okay. There was a small period of time where that dude Cisco was there.
Cisco, right.
I like the way Cisco cut me. He used to give me some crazy parts.
He's a car dealer. He's a car dealer now.
No kidding.
Right. Yep.
No kidding. So anyway, so that's when the shop was called The Cut Above the Rest. And I'm not just saying this because you're my dude or anything, but you're one of the nicest barbers, right? Like in the state, in my opinion.
Thank you, man.
I've been getting chopped up in Boston, like trying to find somebody, man, and like it's been difficult. How did you pick up the craft of cutting hair, and what made you want to turn it into a career?
When I was younger, we didn't really get haircuts like that. My mom didn't really have it like that. We grew up in the hood, in Sao Julio. Mm-hmm. And when I got older, I think I was about 12 years old, my mom asked me what I wanted for Christmas. I asked for some clippers. I was like, I need a pair of clippers. And I started mowing it down and got me like a number 2, number 1 all the way around or whatever. But then I think when my son was born, I realized I had to do something with my life. I was running around from odd jobs to block, from doing whatever I had to do to make money, Yep. But I had to do something, so I went to barber school. I was working all kinds of jobs. I did all kinds of trainings and stuff like that. But then, long story short, I ended up, I went to prison. And then when I got out of prison, I just ran with it. I would say, I don't care if I got to cut hair and wear the same clothes every day, but I'm just going to run with this barber stuff. You know what I mean? Till I get good at it, till I build my clientele. And that's how it started back in like 2000. 2000, I started going hard with it. You know what I mean?
How old were you at that time?
I was 25.
25? Okay.
25 years old.
All right. Did you have any mentors, any mentor barbers?
Yeah. The original owner of Cut Above the Rest, Nelson, he was teaching me. We had we had so many barbers come in and out the shop that I was just learning it like from everybody, because a lot of barbers were like coming and going. So I was just, while they were there, I was taking advantage and asking questions. Yo, how do you do this? I want to get nice like that. I want my face to be powdery like that. How do I do designs? How do I, you know what I mean? And before you know it, I learned all their skills and I snatched up all their customers because everybody kept leaving. No doubt. And I stood in one spot for 10 years, And then that's when JR, Pete, and Abner and all these guys told me to come up to Westfield. And then I went up there, 2000 and I think 2008, 2000, something like that.
Oh, okay. So you started at the Springfield location and then over to Westfield.
Yeah.
Word, bro. That's crazy. Yeah. I forgot about Abner too. Abner was like, cool. Damn. Yep. That's crazy. Yeah, to this day, you're the only person I'll still let put a part in my head. No bullshit.
Yeah.
So what year did you take ownership of Cut Above the Rest?
2010.
2010. And at that time, was taking ownership of a barbershop something that you felt like you were ready for?
Nah, bro. I didn't have no clue what the heck. I mean, I had an idea how to I was a barber. Do you know what it was? It wasn't I didn't know how to run the shop, because I knew how to cut hair and I knew what had to be done in the shop. What I wasn't was a businessman. You know what I mean? I didn't have like that. I had a lot of growing up to do, whether as far as like mastering my emotions, mastering my how to manage my finances, managing my time and stuff like that. I wasn't reading at the time, so I was just freestyling everything, you know.
Mm.
And I take things a lot like personally, whatever. But through the years, I started reading. I started understanding the business a little better, you know, and I picked it up, you know.
Yeah, it was definitely a learning experience.
Yeah, yeah, but I didn't know how to run a shop, man. You
Right.
see how the shop was at the beginning, man?
Yeah, I've seen it develop like crazy,
Yeah, yeah.
like crazy. Like from there used to be a wall down the middle, and
Hmm.
you know, I've seen it go through the stages for sure, and it's been
Yeah, man.
beautiful. You know, I think there's always been positive energy in that barbershop, man. Um, Definitely like a place that holds like a lot in my heart. Like, you know, like 'cause I don't live in Westfield anymore, so when I come back, you know, I get this nostalgic feeling, and there's certain places throughout the city that mean a lot to me, and the barbershop is one of those. You know.
Right.
Um,
You in Boston now?
yeah, yeah, I'm out here. Yep.
Yeah. I thought you came back. I didn't know you moved back, man.
Yeah, no, I came back for a little while. I had gone through like a little thing, and I went back for maybe 5 or 6 months, and then I
Right,
went to California for a month to see my
right.
sister. And then I can't, and then I moved right back to Boston. I got a job opportunity. I've been here ever since.
Nice, man.
Yeah, definitely. As a business owner in Westfield, do you feel a sense of responsibility for the community? And do you feel like it's your responsibility to like connect with other business owners downtown and stuff like that?
I'll tell you what. At the beginning, I didn't. I remember, you know, the WASA, the Westfield American Spanish American Association. Well, they had
I
this
don't know.
thing where it was like the Spanish Community Council, or whatever, and they wanted me to join it, and I was like, "What do you mean, me join it? Like, I'm a nobody, you know?" And he's like, "Bro, you're a leader in the community," and I'm like, "Bro, I'm a barber. That's all I don't know what you're talking about as far as leading the community. I don't know nobody out here like that. I just come here, cut hair, and go back home." And
Right.
he started telling me who I was, and I didn't even have no clue. I didn't see myself like that at the time. And through the years, I started seeing what he was talking about, and I started seeing that I do have an influence in the community, you know, when I felt the responsibility of when somebody sat in my chair and whatever they spoke about, you know, it was confidential, but whatever they spoke about, I felt like I had to uplift them, you know, because when I uplift each person that sat in my chair, I'm doing great for the community, you know. But
That's
yeah, I felt a crazy responsibility, you know.
right, right. That's what's
Anybody
up.
that sat in my chair, I was trying to like, yo, listen, man, like trying to just like, you know, like just get them to wake up and open their eyes and like, yo, it's big out there, you know, you could do big things, man, you know.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, man. I think it's an interesting occupation to be a barber, bro.
Yeah,
I saw something recently. It was like this city, and maybe you might have heard about it, like maybe Detroit or something, or Chicago, and like there's a barber shop there, and like the owner had all his barbers become like certified in like therapy or something. Like I forgot
right.
exactly what it was, but it was really cool. And I was like, that's dope, man. Like you, I think you've told me this before, word for word, that you could go into a barbershop in a bad mood and come out in a good mood, you know.
Right,
And I feel like
right,
that's happened to me mad times.
right.
uh, so do you have like a this might sound like a crazy question. Do you have like a specialty cut, like a cut that you feel like you give the nicest?
Your cut, man, your cut used to come out dope, man. We used to give you that low skin tight fade with the little swoop in there, you know.
Yeah, I always look at the low skin tight. You know what I'm saying? I
Right,
just want to
right.
cut. This cut isn't too bad right now, actually. I found a dude who down the street who's not
Nice.
actually, but yeah, yeah. I used
Yo,
to be like, oh, go ahead.
a cut make you feel different, man. Make you feel, you know,
Yeah,
feel
yeah, yeah,
confident. You know what I mean?
definitely. But yeah, I remember I used to just be like, yo, just freestyle the part, like whatever you think this,
Right,
and you would, yeah, that was fun. That was good times. That's
right,
what I'm saying. Like I don't really feel comfortable telling anybody that out here.
right,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
It's been years since I got a part. I'm gonna have to come out there and have you hook me
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
up. What was the inspiration to change the name to Gaslight Barbers?
When I bought the shop, the guy, Nelson had asked me, what are you gonna change the name to? And I said, I'm not changing the name for nothing. Like, it is what it is. I wasn't ego tripping at the time, and I felt like I didn't want to. The shop was established already. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to change it and risk losing customers.
Yeah, yeah,
So through the years, I kept thinking about it. It was something that was pressing in my heart. Like, I gotta change the name to this because I gotta create my own identity.
yep,
And what do you call it? I spoke to a lady. She was like a visionary and stuff like that. Like, she helps businesses and restaurants come up with names or come up with like different appearances in their businesses and what they should do in the windows and stuff like that. Like, she's like one of those. She orchestrates and make things look nice. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So she had told me. She said, this is the Gaslight District. And I said, really, huh? She was like, yeah. She was like, if you notice, they got gas, like all the lamps all around downtown or whatever look like gas lights. And I
Yep.
said, yeah, that's right. And then the monuments, the new monuments that they put all around that whole area says Gaslight, whatever.
Yep. Yeah. 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 Right
I
across.
was like, yo, yeah, like you know what I'm talking about. And then she said, you guys should call yourselves the Gaslight Salon or Gaslight something. I was like, nah, that's crazy. We not a salon, we a barbershop, And then I was like, Gaslight Barbers, And then she was like, that sounds good. I said, perfect. What's wrong with it,
Yeah.
So then
Yeah. I think
came up with a
it's
logo and
perfect for
stuff
sure.
like that. Yep.
I think a lot of the people who've been going there for years, myself including, it's hard to get used to that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The new look, but I think change is good sometimes. It's needed, and I think that you guys are doing a really good job over there. What's the best way for someone to book an appointment with your crew?
If they could go on our Instagram or Facebook as Gaslight Barbers, but if not, they could download our app. We have an app where you could download the app and you can book an appointment there. You can book as many appointments as you want. You
Okay.
get loyalty stamps and stuff like that. You get money off, discounts, stuff like that. It's
Okay.
a pretty cool app,
Yeah, yeah. Do you recommend doing appointments, or I haven't been there in a while. Like I'm not sure if you guys are swamped these days. Like are walk-ins a thing right now, or?
People do walk in. I mean, I be pretty booked up from time to time, but there's times where I'm not. And then if you walk in, you get happy to get lucky or whatever, you can come in or whatever. But for the most part, I advise people to make appointments or call me ahead of time to see if I could squeeze them in somewhere, stuff like that.
No doubt, no doubt. Cool. You have any advice to an upcoming barber?
Advice to upcoming barber: save your money. Save your money. Invest your money. Get a guy like me, a realtor. Invest your money in real estate. I wish I would have saved all my money. I mean, I made a lot of money cutting hair, but I also like carelessly spent it. You know what I mean? I've gotten like good memories and stuff like that. But honestly, I wish I could turn back like 10, 20 years, and I would have saved all that money and I would have invested in real estate and stuff like that.
No doubt.
Knowing what I know now,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that advice goes a long way for kind of any profession.
Right?
I'm saying I think saving money is just a very important thing, like a good habit to get used to.
Right.
I need to get better at that. So to kind of transition into the real estate conversation, I think it's true as a barber, right? Beyond the haircut, you have to be kind of personal too, right? Like you have to make the customer feel welcome, feel comfortable. And I think being able to hold a great conversation goes a long way on top of the cut too. You've always been a stand-up dude, very easy to talk to. So when I heard that you were getting into real estate, it didn't really surprise me because I felt like that was something that you would be good at anyways.
Mm-hmm.
But was there a moment that happened that made you say, I'm trying to get into that industry?
As far as real estate?
Yeah.
Yeah, back in 2005, man. I've been thinking about it for years, you know.
Okay.
But I had this mindset where I couldn't see myself doing it. I didn't think I could pass it. I didn't think I was smart enough for it. I didn't think I was qualified for it. And then I think when I started going to church and learning about God and learning who I was and building my confidence, like knowing that I could do anything in Christ, you know what I mean? That He got my back. That's when I started making moves. Like I was like, I got this, man. I'm gonna pass this. I'm gonna get my license, man.
No doubt, no doubt. So it was something that you saw potential to make money in, but didn't necessarily have the confidence to like do right away.
Right. I was just like, nah, I can't. Plus, I had a poverty mindset. So,
Right.
like thinking of like $400-500 to spend on a school for me to, take my classes and stuff like that was a lot of money. I was like, damn, I can't afford that right now.
No doubt, no doubt.
But
I've heard stories of people um, saying how like the tests or whatever test you have to pass to have the certification to become an agent
right.
um, can be really difficult and expensive. And I've heard stories of people like failing multiple times.
Yeah.
Did that kind of thing happen to you at all? Did you fail?
Yeah, absolutely. I did fail. I failed quite a bit, but I failed because I didn't like really take the book serious and I didn't read it. I didn't really comb through the book and read the whole book from front to back.
Mm,
But the last time that I took the test, I was like, I'm gonna pass this test. And I think I read from like 4 p.m. in the afternoon to like midnight, just reading straight through. And I just read the whole thing, Like anything that I didn't read, I read through the whole thing. And then the next day I passed the test, no problem.
nice.
So it was just a matter of like really reading the book.
Right, 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 right. I think
You
studying
know?
sometimes is the hardest part. Um,
Yeah.
how much time has real estate taken away from you being at the shop or working on music or spending time with your family?
It takes a lot of time, man. You gotta dedicate some. You gotta work, man. You gotta put in work. But I tell you what, since this quarantine thing and we opened the shop up, I haven't been able to like get back into the music and stuff like that because I've been trying to like focus a few hours in the morning with real estate. Then I hit the barber shop. Then in the afternoon, I'm back to the real estate. And by the time I get home, I'm like, I don't want to write. I don't want to hear music. I just want to take a shower, eat, go to bed.
Yeah, yeah. It seems like a lot right now, but I think it's gonna pay off, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, what do you think the hardest part about being a real estate agent is?
The hardest part, I don't know what the hardest part is, man. I don't know. I don't know because I love
Yeah, I mean,
doing it. You know what I mean?
good at it. Like,
Yeah, like, it's just I love doing it. You know what I mean? So I don't really find it hard. There's things that I don't know, and I don't look at it like it's hard. I just look at it like I gotta figure this out.
no doubt, no doubt.
You know what I mean?
Right. Are you working for a company right now, or are you doing it independently?
I am. I'm working for a company for a brokerage out of Springfield.
Okay,
It's called NBC Realtors.
okay. And have you been with them since kind of the beginning?
Yeah. Yep.
Nice, nice. I guess same
It's been
time.
like 2 years.
2 years now?
Yep.
Jeez, time flies by, bro.
Tell me about it.
That's crazy. So you're like, you feel like, I mean, 2 years is kind of nothing though. You know what I'm saying? Um, do you feel like you still? This might be an obvious question, but do you feel like you have a long way to go as a realtor?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
Cool.
I'm just like I ain't even like fully in it because now like I've been doing this like pretty much part time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right.
Like if I would have been doing this 2 years full time, I probably would have been like a little bit further than where I'm at right now. You know what I mean? But yeah, I still got a little bit to learn. I mean, I know more than the average Joe. You know what I mean? Like if a buyer or a seller, somebody want to sell their house, I know everything I need to know to talk to them and be able to engage in some kind of business together. You know what I mean?
Right,
But
right,
as far as like experiences, I still got a lot to learn.
right. Um, now are you covering just like the like Westfield and Springfield, or is it like What part of Western Mass are you covering right now? All of Western Mass?
Man, I go all over the place,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, you need me in Boston, I'll swing out there, no problem, man.
Okay. That's what's up. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Uh, what are your hopes with this new venture? Even though it's not so new anymore, you're 2 years in. But what are your hopes, and do you have any big goals that you'd like to share with us?
Honestly, man, my goal, my ultimate goal is to free up my time to make more music, man.
Mm,
Because I can't as I'm 45 years old, about to be 46 next month, right? But I love music, man. I can't shake it off. It's not a hobby to me. It's just what I do. You know what I mean? And
mm,
I don't see myself ever stopping. You know what I mean? It's
mm.
just the fact that I'm caught up doing this and doing that. So sometimes I'll be too busy. But if I could just free up some time where I could just focus 2-3 days on just making music, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or 6 to 8 hours a day, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's dope, man. I can
Sure,
just
man.
create.
How does that look to you, like freeing up time? Like, would that mean like maybe being at the shop part time more?
I'll still figure it. I'll figure it out somehow. Like I'll do a couple days here, a
Yeah.
couple days there, you know, because I love cutting hair too. You know, I
Nah.
don't want to just I don't want to stop cutting hair. I love cutting hair, but
Right, right, right.
honestly, I really want to make more music. I want to be able to create more music, stuff like that.
No doubt, man. I think as artists, that's the ultimate goal for all of us, man. You know, I wish for that too right now. Like I'm working a couple jobs, 7 days a week. You know, it's a lot, and I'm trying to be able to have more time for music too.
But tell me how dope it would be if you could do 40 hours a week making music.
I know that'd be
That'd be
crazy.
crazy, man.
That'd be crazy, but I think the reason why like that I started this series is because there's people out there, like myself included. Like even if I was working 40 hours a week just on music, like there's always other things that I want to do too. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to do something like this and interview people and take the focus off me. I want to like build community and work at the community center down the street still, you know. And I think that's why I have someone like you want hair too, because you love cutting hair. Like you want to cut
Hmm.
hair still. You wanna sell houses. Like you get something from that. You get value from that. So I think these are the kind of people I'm trying to bring onto this show, man. Um, because it's deeper than just like having this dream with music and doing something because you have to financially, and doing it because like you also want to do it. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think like I really appreciate you coming on here today, man. Um, I always like kind of so I used to run a radio show in college. Do you remember that?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
it was called the Hip Hop Hour, and I used to do like 30 minutes of classic hip hop, 30 minutes of local hip hop, and every other week I would have artists come on and I would interview them, and I would always end the interview the same way, and I would ask them a question, like the same question every person I interviewed, and the question was, "What is your favorite thing about hip hop?" Right? And so when I started this series, and I kind of had the plan of doing these interviews, I was like, "Yo, I want to bring that inspiration from the show I used to run, like kind of full circle, and end the interviews off with the same question, right?" So I want to ask you to kind of cap off the interview. What is your favorite thing about hip hop?
About the music or just hip hop in general?
Pop in general, bro. The culture.
I don't know, man. My favorite thing, it all ties in together. That's what's dope about hip hop. The fashion, the sound, the just the art. It all ties in together. The even haircuts, you know what I mean, ties into hip hop. You know, just everything. It just the way it just melts together. Like it's just it just infused. You know what I mean, and it evolves, but it's still that. You know what I mean? It's
Mm,
just dope, man. And it never gets old listening to like a new track. It just never gets old to hear a new track and it's dope. You know what I mean? And the feeling you get from it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Crazy.
yeah. Nah, I think that's a great answer, man. The fact that everything kind of mixes together, because I think that hip hop is reflected all over the world right now,
Right.
especially in 2020, bro. It's like hip hop is in music, it's in television, it's in politics, it's in
Right.
sports. Like you said, it's in barbershops. From the way that we dress, the way that we talk, the way that we interact with people, it's the same principles that we use almost everywhere.
Right.
And that even goes into like another reason why I wanted to do this series, because like hip hop is reflected on the other cool things that we do too. Like you might be a certain kind of real estate agent because of the influence hip hop had on you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Might cut hair a certain way because of the influence hip hop had on you, and I think that's a beautiful thing. So
Right.
I appreciate that answer, bro. And that's all I really have today, man. I wanted to just make sure I wrapped it up in enough time, and I appreciate you being on here.
Hey, I appreciate you getting me on here, man.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I had to. And I think like I felt like it's still early on in this process for me, so I want to kind of bring people on who I'm comfortable with and who I know hold a lot of value. So
Right. No doubt, man.
You have any final comments you want to say? Anything?
Yo, that video was dope, man.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, I was digging that, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that for real.
Keep doing your thing, man. Cause you got it, man.
Thank you, man. I'm trying. I just want to like make sure it feels right, But I think I have a lot of things I'm gonna be rolling out soon, so I'll definitely keep you in touch.
Okay. So I say, I guess I want to say what up the Weapon ESP. I want to give a shout out to DJ Stress, the whole Nest Click, everybody, the Fire Set Radio Show, the Producers Corner, Tim, everybody, man.
No doubt. That's what's up, my guy. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
All right?
All right, brother.
All right, man.
Stay up.